Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Amrina Rosyada and I'm from TBIA. And this is my final exam listening for expository text. So in this video I will explain a review about one audio with title How to Improve Your Memory, and this is conversation between Mary and Charles. So first let's we listen the audio.
I'd like to welcome Charles Long to the studio today. Welcome, Charles. Now, Charles has just published an article in New Science Journal about memorization. It's all about how to make our memory function better. Charles, exam time is on its way and there'll be lots of teenagers tuning in today. Can you give us some advice about improving our ability to memorize?
Hello. Yes, of course. I'd like to start by talking about the process of memorization. It's vital that we understand the process if we want to make adjustments to the way we function. We all use memory in the same way. It doesn't matter whether you're a student revising for your finals or an adult standing in the aisle of a supermarket trying to recall a particular item from a grocery list.
Yes, I'm afraid that's me. I always forget to take my list.
Okay, so in this part audio talking about Charles, who just published his new article about how to make memory function better. Mary asked to Charles for some advice on how to improve his memorization skills before their exam. And Charles said that everyone uses memory the same way they use memory. But it depends on how he goes through the process of making adjustment to the way his memory functions, such as how someone remembers learning material when they are taking an exam, and how someone can remember certain items on a shopping list. And I found some article about the strategy. The first based on article with title A Definition of Memory for the Cognitive Science by Brett Ross and Luis H. Favela. And they said memory is a central topic within the cognitive sciences and its various contributing disciplines, such as computer science, neuroscience, and psychology. One likely reason for this is its centrality to various conceptions of cognition. Be it brains or modern computers, memory typically plays a central role. However, it is often unclear if memory is used the same across contexts. What is apparent, however, is the efficacy of computational theory in the cognitive sciences. Given the success is computational, a theory has provided the study of cognition, and given that memory is central to computation, it follows that a computationally inspired approach to memory can provide a useful insight into the general nature of memory. Next, the second article is according to Yusdianti in 2017. Memory is the ability to store, retain, and remember information from past experiences in the human brain. Memory is a collection of what is remembered, so that this gives individuals the ability to learn and adapt and provides control over the use of past experiences on current behavior and thought processing in the future. Memory is one part of cognitive function, so it's very important in the learning and remembering process. The conclusion, memory is the power or process of reproducing or recalling what has been learned and retained, especially through associative mechanism. Okay, next let's listen the next part audio.
You and thousands of other people too, Mary. We learn to use our memory when we are still at nursery school. Young children are naturally very good at working out how to remember things. The tips I'm going to share today are based on the things we used to do to help us remember when we were children. The process of memorization occurs in two distinct forms. Do you know what they are?
Are they long-term memory and short-term memory?
That's right. But these aren't completely separate concepts. We use a combination of both types of memory when we want to formulate our thoughts and recall information, whether we're trying to remember something from a decade ago or just an hour earlier.
Okay, so in this part audio, Charles said that when they were little, everyone was naturally very good at remembering things very well. Charles shares tips to help us remember when we were little. The memorization process occurs in two different forms. And Mary said that is long-term memory and short-term memory. But Charles says that's not the full concept. Both types of memory are used to formulate thought and remember information. Okay, we talk about long-term memory and short-term memory. The first is long-term memory. Based on article we title Long-Term Visual Memory and its role in learning suppression by Gabriel N. Friedman, Lance Johnson, and Jeff M. Williams. There are said long-term memory is a core aspect of human learning that permits a wide range of skills and behaviors often important for survival. While this core ability has been broadly observed for procedural and declarative memory, whether similar mechanisms subserve basic sensory or perceptual processes remains unclear. Here, we use a visual learning paradigm to show that training humans to search for common visual features in the environment leads to a persistent improvement in performance over consecutive days, but surprisingly suppresses the subsequent ability to learn similar visual features, while still permitting the ability to learn multiple visual features simultaneously. These findings reveal a memory mechanism that may enable salient sensory patterns to persist in memory over prolonged durations, but which also functions to prevent false positive detection by proactively suppressing new learning. And the second is short-term memory. Based on article with title Short-Time Memory by Advances in the Study of Behavior 2023. And they are said short-term memory or STM refers to systems which provide retention of limited amounts of material for a limited time period or seconds. Most investigated systems include phonological, spatial, and visual STM, While STM storage exists also in other domains as the somatosensory system. STM includes storage and rehearsal components, with the latter providing maintenance of events in memory against short-term forgetting. Discrete brain regions support short-term memory, with left hemisphere posterior parietal and promotor frontal networks being more involved in phonological STM, and right hemisphere and right hemisphere regions in spatial STM. STM contributes to learning of new information and aspects of speech comprehension and production. Okay, next, let's we listen the next part audio.
So, what tips have you got for improving the quality of our memory?
Right. Well, let's start with association.
Association.
Yes, we can use word association to remember an idea or a concept. This means choosing a word or phrase you associate with what you are trying to remember. The word needs to be something familiar that you come into contact with on a daily basis. So, for example, you can use the name of your pet dog to remember a scientific equation. Try it. Read the equation a few times and then say your dog's name again and again. Later, in your science exam, just recall the name and the whole equation should come back to you.
It sounds too good to be true. What else, Charles?
Visualization is another trick we can use. So, you have to visualize an image that is connected to the thing you need to remember. For example, if you want to remember the date that the Berlin Wall came down, you might visualize a picture of a wall with the date written on it in graffiti. The image of the wall becomes an important part of what you will remember. You can use several images in a row to remember things like information in a text or a list of ingredients for a recipe.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, in this part audio, Charles explained the tips he meant, namely association and visualization. The first is associations. Associations are ways we can use to remember an idea or concept. That is, choosing words of or phrases that are associated with what we use. The word must be familiar and known every day, like using a pet's name to remember a scientific equation. And based on article with title Association and Visualization by Sylvie Fadaf, one of the most basic and effective memory improvement techniques is visualization and association. Most of the learners have adapted this technique and have seen dramatic improvements in their memory performance. All memory champions use these techniques to memorize hard and complex information. This is quite interesting and funny way to remember information for a long run. If you want to score high grades and want to perform outstanding at your job, you just need to develop a habit of visualization. The fact is that we are already using this technique in our everyday life unconsciously. Now we can perform better because with this technique we can consciously make an association for the information we are taking as an input through our five senses: hearing, smelling, seeing, touching, and tasting. Human brain is designed in a way that is understand pictures and videos more clearly as compared to abstract words and text. Usually, our minds accept only things which seems meaningful to our brain. That means for each new information, our mind asks, what is this information? Why should learn it and how to learn it? Once it gets agreeable answers, our minds will accept it. In order to provide agreeable answers, we have to establish in an association between new information and existing knowledge. And the principles for making association is here you will learn that what is essential to make strong association. Once your mind follow below rules, you would be able to visualize and connect items clearly. The first is picture. The first rule to make association is to visualize information in the form of a picture or video. Our brain easily captures the information in the form of picture and movie as compared to text. Text are abstract words which does not contain any image. This is the reason our mind does not understand it quickly. If I say word rainbow, what's your mind would see? An image of rainbow or the word RAINBOW? Your mind would certainly see a picture of 7-color rainbow, not its spelling. The second is color. Add the bright colors in your picture as our mind is more attracted to colorful images. For example, if in your area there are two movie theaters, one is showing black and white movie and another is color movie. Which theater you would prefer to go? Of course, you would go to watch colorful movie. The third is size. Visualize a picture in much bigger size as compared to normal. For example, if you imagine ant, visualize it in elephant size so that our mind attract to it and remember it. The fourth is image should be ridiculous. Create video as silly as possible. Imagine the thing which does not exist in real life. For example, visualize that Anne is swimming into the swimming pool. The fifth is unique and special. Create a unique picture in your mind as our mind never forgets something special or unique. For example, if you are passing through a crowd and in that crowd there is person who has elephant trunk instead of nose, your mind will immediately notice and capture that person, but not the entire crowd's faces. Not only this, brain will also store and remember this picture permanently. And the sixth is I. Involve yourself into the video as you are the most important person for you. For example, if you see your old family picture, the first thing you will be looking for into the picture is yourself. If you are involved into the video or image, it will strengthen the association. Okay, let's listen the next part audio.
Singing can help with memorization too.
Singing?
Yeah. So instead of reading a text aloud, you sing it. Singing is one of the most effective and earliest memory tricks that are used for learning new concepts. I used to sing lists of historical facts and dates. It works.
And did you have to sing aloud in your history exams?
Not allowed, but I did used to sing in my head, and I always got good marks for history.
So, in this part audio, Charles explained that singing can also help a person's memory because singing is one of the most effective and utilized memory tricks used to learn new concepts. Charles says that we always sings in his head so he gets good grades. According to research previously by Rahayu, Yeti, and Supriyanti, entitled Increasing Children's Creativity, Early Learning Through Movement and Song. Obtained, the song has the benefit of improving children's creativity. When children sing a song, the child can use its cognitive process and the subconscious imagine the content of the song sing so you can spark ideas or interpretations, especially for relate songs with learning materials. Okay, the last part audio. Let's listen.
Well, have you got any more tips for us, Charles?
Yes, I've saved the best one till last. It's particularly relevant for any students who have tuned in. Teach it.
Teach it. Teach what?
Teach whatever it is that you want to remember. So, if you're studying for an English exam, teach the concepts to someone else. It can be a real person, a friend in a study group is ideal, or it can be a pretend person. You can just imagine someone is listening to you as you teach. Better still, record yourself teaching and then play back the video to revise the material further.
That sounds like a great tip. Or trick.
Yes, it really works because in order to teach something, you need to understand it. Teaching reinforces the understanding, and although these sound like tricks, they aren't really.
No?
No, they are just simple ways that we can train our brains to be more effective. By getting into the habit of using word association, visualization, singing and teaching, our brains develop and work better for us. And of course, that has a knock-on effect on our memory and our abilities to recall all kinds of data.
Well, thank you very much, Charles. Now, I think we've got time for a couple of questions from our listeners.
This recording was brought to you by the British Council. To find others like it, visit www.britishcouncil.org.
Okay, in this part audio, Charles explained about the last tip is to be open. The point is to open up what you remember. So if you learn English, teach this concept to someone overhears you while studying. Okay, I will explain about how to improve your memory, and in this from the article by John Johnson. So there are various ways a person can help to improve their memory. This include exercise, meditation, and getting adequate sleep. Most people have occasional lapses in memory, such as forgetting a new acquaintance name or misplacing the car keys. Most of the time, this is simply a sign that a person is a bit too busy or is preoccupied. On the other hand, having a constantly poor memory can be problematic for someone. And in this article, I'll learn about 8 techniques to try to help improve your memory. The first technique is do brain training. In a similar way to most class, the brain needs regular use to stay healthy. Mental workouts are just as essential to gray matter as other factors, and challenging the mind can help it grow and expand, which may improve memory. A large trial from the journal PLOS ONE found that people who did just 15 minutes of brain training activities at least 5 days a week had improvement in brain function. The participants' working memory, short-term memory, and problem-solving skill all significantly improved when researchers compared them to a control group doing crossword puzzles. The second is exercise. Physical exercise has a direct impact on brain health, as the author of research in the Journal of Exercise Rehabilitation. Regular exercise reduces the risk of cognitive decline with age and protects the brain against degeneration. Aerobics exercise increases a person's heart rate and can include any of these activities, like brisk walking, running, hiking, swimming, dancing, and cross-country skiing. The third technique is meditate. Mindfulness meditation may help improve memory. The author of a 2018 research paper note that many studies show meditation improve by brain function, reduce markers of brain degeneration, and improve both working memory and long-term memory. The fourth technique is get enough sleep. Sleep is vital for overall brain health. Disrupting the body's natural sleep cycle can lead to cognitive impairments, as this interrupts the processes the brain uses to create memories. Getting a full night rest, typical about 7 until 9 hours, a night for an adult, helps the brain create and store long-term memories. The fifth technique is reduce sugar intake. Sugary foods can taste delicious and feel rewarding at first, but they may play a role in memory loss. Research from 2017 in animal models note that a diet high in sugary drinks has a link to Alzheimer's disease. The research also found that drinking too many sugary drinks, including fruit juice, may have a connection a lower total brain volume, which is an early sign of Alzheimer's disease. Avoiding extra sugar may help combat this risk, while naturally sweet foods such as fruits are a good addition to a healthful diet. People can avoid drinks sweet with sugar and foods with added processed sugars. The sixth technique is avoid high-calorie diets. Along with cutting out sources of excess sugar, reducing overall caloric intake may also help protect the brain. Research note the high-calorie diets can impair memory and lead to obesity. The effect on memory may be due to how high-calorie diets lead to inflammation in particular parts of the brain. While most research in this area has been with animals, a study from 2009 looked at whether reducing calories in humans could improve memory. The seventh is increase caffeine intake. Caffeine from sources such as coffee or green tea may be helpful for the memory. The author of a 2014 study found that consuming caffeine after a memory test boosts how well participants' brains store memories long term. People who took 200 milligrams of caffeine score better on recall tests after 24 hours than people who did not take caffeine. Caffeine may also boost memory in the short term. A study in Frontiers in Psychology found that young adults who took caffeine in the morning had improved short-term memory. And the last is eat dark chocolate. Eating dark chocolate sounds like an indulgence, but it may also improve a person's memory. The result of a 2012 study suggests that cocoa flavonoids, which are the active compounds in chocolate, help boost brain function. People who ate dark chocolate perform better in spatial memory tests than those who did not. The research noted that cocoa flavonoids improve the blood flow to the brain. With that said, it is important not to add more sugar to the diet, and so people should aim for at least 72% cacao content in dark chocolate and avoid chocolate with added sugar. Okay, maybe I think that's all from me. I'm sorry for my mistake. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.